In this lesson, I want to talk to you a little bit about a feature in IntelliJ that I love a lot, and that's being able to generate code for us. And it's not going to generate entire applications, but it will help us with some of the verbose stuff that comes along with using Java. So let's look at a simple example here. So I have a Hello World app, and I'm going to create a new class here. So we're going to say new Java class, and we're going to say developer. Now, don't worry if you don't follow along with this, you'll kind of just see how we can generate some code using IntelliJ. So here in a class, I have some private members or variables. So I'm going to have something like a string called first name. How about a last name? How about an email address? And how about let's just leave it at that for now. So we have these three variables, and now we're going to need a bunch of things in this class that we're going to have to write ourselves or go ahead and generate. And I like to generate this stuff. So first off, we need a constructor. So we need a constructor that can set all of these variables for us. So you can hit on the Mac Command N, I think it's Control N on Windows, or you can always come up to, actually if you just right click here, you can go to generate, and that'll show you the tooltip for that, or the quick key for that. So let's go ahead and hit Command N, and I'm going to say I want to generate a constructor. And now you could say, what fields are you going to send to this constructor to create a new instance of this class? In my case, I want to send all three, so I'm going to select all of them, hit return, and now we have a constructor. So also with this, we're going to have to create getters and setters for these private variables. And so what we can do is we can create a getter, a setter, or we can create both. And I want to say that I need those for all of those fields. So you see, we've gotten all this code off the ground for us without really having to write much. Then when we get down the line in Java and we start understanding about how to compare objects, we may need an equals and hashcode. So we go ahead and we can generate that as well. So this is some code that we want to check. Maybe we have a unique key of an email address, and we'll just use that, and we'll finish it off. And so there's our equals and hash code. And then finally, we might have a toString method, which is basically a string representation of this particular class. And we might have first name and last name the same for multiple developers. So we want to use the email address as well. And that creates the toString for us. So we've gotten all this code for us. We've just generated it based on the variables that we've declared in this class. So that's one handy feature, but I'm going to save this and show you one more. So let's say that I wanted to create an instance of that. I would say developer equals new developer, and we'll say Dan Vega, Dan Vega at gmail.com. And then we'll save this. And now let's say that I wanted to call a method on developer called print name. So if we say developer.print name, but wait, that method doesn't exist yet. Well, we could go over there and create it, or we can kind of jump right to it by hitting Alt Enter, and we want to say, go ahead and create that method. That wasn't a typo on my part. I actually want a method called print name, and instead of hopping over there, I can just hop over there right here from there, and look at it. It knew the signature. It knew that we weren't assigning this to something. So if we did string message and we did a generate from there, then it would know that it needs to return a string. But it knows that we're just trying to print a name here. And so it says public void print name. And then we can just say, all right, print out the name. And we can say first and first name. Or actually, we'll call it getter. And now we can say And that's all there is to it. So just another way that IntelliJ is helping us generate some of the code that, we don't really need to write. This is just kind of boilerplate stuff. We want to spend our time writing more business logic code than boilerplate code. So I hope you enjoyed this. Just another way IntelliJ is helping us move right along and be a productive developer. So with that, let's go ahead and move on.